How are we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Movie News Live. Today we got a lot of Superman stuff, a lot of superhero stuff between Marvel and DC, and a couple other things. So let's go ahead and get right on to it. How are you doing this morning, or I guess this afternoon? It's almost 12:30 on a beautiful Tuesday. So let's go ahead and get started with this. First off, again, like I said, a lot of superhero talk today. We're going to be doing Superman. So with it, where did I go? Superman budget and box office profit point revealed for DCU movie. So apparently the budget's pretty high, but also the tracking seems to be doing well. So let's read it. The budget and box office profit for point for James Gunn's Superman have been revealed. Superman officially hits U.S. theaters next month. Written and directed by James Gunn, the DCU movie sees David Cornsweet play the titular superhero, while the cast also includes Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. What is the budget and box office profit point for Superman? According to the Wrap's Humberto Gonzalez, Superman has a budget of approximately $225 million. So with that, you also want to add in the marketing budget, which is typically for this kind of a movie is going to be around $100 million. I think that it might actually be less because they haven't done much marketing at all for this movie. Just a couple trailers and then like a CinemaCon thing, and then like a behind the scenes Superman thing for Superman Day. So I really feel like they haven't done that much, but we'll say it's at 100 million. And for simple math, we'll make it 125 million to put it at 350 million for its total budget. And anytime that you see the total budget, the movie has to make more than double because they have to give half of it back to the theaters. So in order for this movie to be profitable or to break even, it has to hit around $700 million. So let's see what this says. According to one insider, if Superman grosses anything north of 500 million worldwide, the film will turn a profit at the box office, not inclusive to ancillary revenues. The article reads, in a court of public opinion, however, it will need to gross closer to 700 million to be considered a hit. Absolutely. You cannot have this movie and then $125 or $100 million marketing budget, unless they just don't count that for whatever reason, which I doubt that's the case. I'm pretty sure they count it. How much Superman makes during its opening weekend remains to be seen. Jurassic World Rebirth opens the week before Superman, while Fantastic Four First Steps comes out 2 weeks after, meaning it could face some tough competition at the box office throughout the whole month of July. Yes, but what comes out the week before Fantastic Four? I don't think anything. So Superman could have a very solid 2 weeks in a row if it's good. In addition to Cornsweet, Brosnan, and Luthor, Superman stars. Okay, just going over more of the cast. Superman will be released in the United States and IMAX July 11th, 2025 from Warner Brothers Pictures. The DCU continues after that in August with Peacemaker Season 2, while the next theatrically released movie will be Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which arrives in June 2026. So with that, what do you think about the Superman budget? Do you think it's too high? Do you think it's too low? Do you think it'll make its money back? Or do you not care? I think this is tough. Let me look up real quick the Man of Steel budget. Movie budget. Let me look this up. Okay, so 225 million for Man of Steel. 225 million in 2013 is not the same as 225 million today. But for argument's sake, we'll just say it's the same thing. So and then we'll see the movie box office total. So Man of Steel made almost that 700 mark. It made 670.1. This includes 291 domestic and 379 internationally. Okay, so back then it was able to make more of a profit from the high budget because there's just less that went into it overall. But there's also, I don't know where they filmed Man of Steel, but in Superman, they filmed in Ohio, and states in certain countries and everything will give tax incentives. So I think as long as Superman does what Man of Steel did and make this 670 around there, I think it'll actually make money because the tax incentives will actually reduce the budget cost from the Superman total budget, if that makes sense. So it's kind of crazy though how similar both those movies are as far as what they need to make and what they cost. That's pretty crazy. Anyways, next up, Well, before that, let me know your thoughts as well. I think I already said that, but let me know. Next up, still sticking with Superman, Nicholas Hoult looked to Gene Hackman in Smallville for his Lex Luthor. So I wanted to read this article because I think he's going to be a fantastic Lex Luthor. I think he's going to very much remind me of a mixture between Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor, the most evil part of Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor, and the Lex Luthor in Superman the Animated Series. So let's read. Batman has the Joker, Fantastic Four have Galactus, Spider-Man has the Green Goblin, and Superman, a good Superman always needs his Lex Luthor. A super smart nemesis often with sizable resources to try and make Kal-El's life a misery. In the Richard Donner films, he was memorably played by the late, great Gene Hackman. More recently, he got a Zuckerberg-flavored take from the Jesse Eisenberg and Snyderverse films. And Superman Returns, well, somebody played him there too. He's talking about Kevin Spacey. So Kevin Spacey is a no name now. Now in James Gunn, much anticipated Superman playing opposite David Cornsweet's Man of Steel as Lex is Nicholas Hoult, and he's taking inspiration from several previous Lex performances. Gene's one of my all-time favorites, just as an actor in general. I went back and watched Gene, he tells Empire. And Michael Rosenbaum, who's the first Lex I saw growing up watching Smallville on TV. It's interesting when you play a character that's been played before. You're working from a different script, but it's fun to draw inspiration from all those places. There's also Michael Rosenbaum. He has his own podcast. It's called the Inside of You podcast, and he had Nicholas Hoult on right before they started to film. So they're decent. I would say they're decently good friends. So I'm sure he went to him for a lot of advice with it. And then, UFC collectibles. That's cool. Earlier in his career, Holt's comic book role choice was more of the heroic beast in the latter run of the X-Men movies, but now he's at a point where he prefers playing more twisted outsider roles. I'm going to keep getting darker and stranger until people are like, no, too far. He laughs, looking into the future. I don't have a master plan, but it seems like a lot of performances that I grew up loving, or specifically when actors would go on runs of things, it seemed to be in their 30s and 40s. So I've always been excited about this period of my career. Bring on more twisted Lex Luthor schemes. So then it's just saying to keep reading a different article. So with that, what do you think? I think Nicholas Hoult is going to be one of the best Lexes that we've ever had. I think just the minor pieces of footage that we see him in and all the Superman trailers so far, I don't know. I just think he's going to be that very evil, twisted. He's going to do whatever it takes to hurt Superman, and both physically and emotionally. And so I'm here for it. I think it's going to be great. Go ahead and let me know down below what you think about Nicholas Hoult as Superman. And also, did you like Gene Hackman and Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor's? I would say I like Michael Rosenbaum's better, but Gene Hackman is still good. But I did like Michael Rosenbaum's letter. He's my favorite Lex Luthor. With that, moving on. We now have The Accountant 2 streaming release date revealed for Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal's action sequel. So this movie, it's only been out for about a month, maybe just over a month, and it's coming to streaming. So let's see what it says. The Accountant 2 streaming release date has been revealed. A sequel to 2016's The Accountant, once again directed by Gavin O'Connor, written by Bill Dubuque. The action thriller sees Ben Affleck reprising his role. Okay. The Accountant 2 cast also includes that. Okay. Just tell me the stupid, the release date, bro. Now over a month after its theatrical release. Okay. So just over a month. Amazon MGM Studios has announced The Accountant 2 will be available to stream on Prime Video starting June 5th. So what's that, Thursday? Today's the 3rd, right? Yeah. So the Blu-ray or DVD date has not yet been announced. It'll probably come out like late July. Like the final week of July, I would say. It's also unclear when the movie will be available to buy or rent on digital platforms. Well, if it's going to be on Prime, who cares? Most people have ways to get Prime for free anyways. It's kind of crazy. What The Accountant 2's streaming release means for the movie. Well, it hasn't been performing well. It had a budget double the size and hasn't made as much money as the first one, even though I think it's better. After premiering at South by Southwest in early March, where it won the Audience Award, Accountant 2 was released in theaters on April 25th. It faced some significant competition from the re-release of Revenge of the Sith and Sinners, opening third at the box office behind those two titles of $24.5 million in its first weekend. In the subsequent weekend, the sequel saw significant declines, and to date, The Accountant has made over $101 million at the box office against its $80 million budget. So it's losing money. It probably needed at least 50 to 60 more million to break even, and it's not gonna. But who knows? Maybe it'll draw a lot of people into Prime, and people will pay for Prime, and it'll make its money back that way. And then when you get to VOD sales and physical media sales. Note, a third movie is in development. Yeah, it's always in development. I mean, Accountant 2 is in development for 9 years. So I think Gavin O'Connor is going to do his Warrior TV show next and then go back to The Accountant. But The Accountant 2 is a lot of fun. Go ahead and let me know down below. Did you see The Accountant 2? Did you like it? Again, I liked it better than the first one. I wish it did better in theaters. It deserved to do better in theaters. But what can you do? Switching back over to the superhero genre, we have Thunderbolts box office doubles its budget after barely less than a month in theaters. Let's see about that, Screen Rant. I don't know if I trust you. Thunderbolts' box office run continues, and after almost a month in theaters, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie has achieved a goal that can help save its theatrical performance. Sadly, Thunderbolts is currently the MCU's third lowest grossing movie, even though reviews and word of mouth have been positive on the film, putting it as one of the best MCU movies for many. Marvel has yet to confirm plans for a Thunderbolts sequel, but if the movie manages to reach a certain mark, that could become more likely, especially given how Thunderbolts' post-credit scene sets up a bigger MCU role for them. Let's get past the Avengers movies before we start talking about a Thunderbolts 2, okay? According to Specialized Box Office Tracker, Box Office Mojo, Thunderbolts box office, it's at $369.5 million. With the MCU movie doubling its budget after barely less than a month from its release, Thunderbolts reportedly is 180 million, which means the MCU movie is on the path to becoming profitable. When it comes to Hollywood releases, a film's break-even point is usually around 2.5 times its budget, as I stated earlier, talking about Superman, which accounts for theaters' share at the box office, marketing, and other expenses. As such, Thunderbolts box office would need to be somewhere in the 360 and 450 million range to break even. That's a pretty significantly big difference. What's Thunderbolts' latest box office update means? It doesn't mean anything. It means this movie is going to be considered barely a profit, barely a break even. It's not going to be considered a bomb per se, but given that it's like the third lowest grossing MCU movie, how good it is, even though for how good it is, it's not good. So that's what that means. This is just a article to try to make, how do I say this nicely? Make a bad thing look good. So I like this movie a lot. I saw it 4 times. I want to see it again. But it just sucks that these budgets for these movies are so high. This movie did not need to be $180 million. So we're like, they don't have A-list stars in here, except for maybe Florence Pugh. I would even say she's an A-list, but she's a big name. But a lot of people would be like, oh, where's she from? They don't necessarily know her name, if that makes sense. So where did this budget go to? Now the practical effects and everything and the sets like that, those all look good, but there's no way that costs anywhere near $100 million. So who knows? They need to figure something out as far as the budgets go for these movies, because if this movie was made for $100 million, then yeah, this would have made so much more money. Like, where'd that extra $80 million go? So with that, did you like Thunderbolts? What do you think about the Thunderbolts' box office performance? I think it sucks. It should have done a lot better, but with the way Marvel's been so up and down, you can't just put the Marvel stamp on something anymore and expect people to go see it. So with that, I will be sticking with the Marvel realm though, and I saw this thing that was a little bit interesting. Benicio del Toro, he says Marvel star teases the MCU return. Definitely there is more on the table. So talking about The Collector, Benicio del Toro's new comments on The Collector's MCU return will sure please fans hoping to see more of the character. Benicio del Toro has just given his most encouraging update yet regarding a potential return to the MCU, suggesting his time as a fan favorite cosmic entity, The Collector, may not be over. Speaking with Josh Horowitz on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, the Academy Award-winning actor offered a hopeful outlook on his MCU future, a significant tonal shift from very recent comments where he expressed doubt about being invited back to the franchise. While Del Toro was clear that the decision is not up to him, his optimistic statement that there's more on the table is sure to ignite fresh speculation that the Collector could play a role in the universe-shattering events of upcoming films like Avengers Doomsday. There's definitely more on the table, Del Toro said. I mean, it's not up to me, but I think there is. This comment, he's doing an interview for the Phoenicians game. You got to get invited to play in that international tournament, and I love to play in it, but fingers crossed that it'll happen soon, Del Toro said. He added, I haven't been invited for a second round. The shift, so he talked about at the end of Infinity War. So with that, I'm pretty sure his character, they could bring people back. Loki's dead all the time, but I'm pretty sure his character died. Because Thanos he pretended that he was alive. And then when Gamora tried to stab Thanos in the neck, he used the reality gem or the reality stone or whatever to show what it actually was, and you actually see the Collector lying there on the ground. So maybe he's just knocked out. I always took it as he was dead, and that was the end of the Collector. But let me know, would you like to see more of the Collector in the MCU? I'd like to see the Collector and oh man, why can't I think of his name right now? Oh man, I have it too. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Excuse me. His brother from Thor Ragnarok. I want to see them interact with one another. The Collector and oh man, it's gonna kill me now. What is it? The Collector's brother Marvel. Grandmaster. Oh, Jesus, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. So I'd like to see more of the Collector and the Grandmaster together, or I'd actually like to see them together and see what kind of like banter or something that they would have. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So with that, again, let me know down below. Do you want to see the return of the Collector, or do you not care? What do you think? I'm right in that he was dead in Infinity War, or do you think he was just hurt and just laying there and they didn't bother to check on him? Let me know down below. Next up, Sydney Sweeney. Out here again. What isn't this chick in, dude? She's like the new Megan Fox. She's in freaking everything. Sydney Sweeney's video game movie with Wicked director won in bidding war. First details reportedly revealed. So Wicked director is John Woo, I think was his name. Well, I'm sure I'll find out here. John M. Chu, not John Woo. John Woo's the guy that did Mission Impossible 2. Sydney Sweeney's video game movie with Wicked director John M. Chu, Split Fiction, has won in a bidding war. The first details reportedly revealed. Sweeney is one of the most in-demand young stars, with Eden, Echo Valley, Americana, and The Housemaid all releasing in 2025. Jesus, she's in all of this? And a Christy Martin biopic, Barbarella remake. What is Barbarella? Mask of Red Death movie, and many more projects in development. In late April, Sweeney was reportedly cast in an adaptation of the popular video game, with Chu directing a script by Deadpool and Wolverine writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. Jeez, try saying that 10 times fast. So look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this Split Fiction 8. 8 movies all coming out within the next 2 to 2.5 years. Good for her, man. That's crazy. Take it while you can, because sheesh. Now, per deadline, Amazon and MGM Studios is close to securing a deal to acquire the Split Fiction movie adaptation. The deal is reportedly valued at over $2 million. The competitive bidding for the highly sought-after project began a few weeks ago, which included interest from Sony and several other studios in contention. I would assume Sony and Universal. Universal likes what John Chu is doing with the Wicked movies. And Sony, what's her face? Sydney Sweeney's been in a lot of Sony movies recently, so they probably have a good working relationship. So I have never played this video game. Let's see if they talk about what it's about. Amazon MGM Studios winning a competitive bidding war for the Split Fiction movie adaptation shows a highly sought-after project this is. A rare alignment of star power, popular intellectual property, and proven creative. Split Fiction is based on a hit video game as its foundation and features of one of Hollywood's biggest young stars right now. Okay, they just repeated the same exact paragraph from the first one. Created by Hazelight Studios and built with Unreal Engine, Split Fiction follows 2 writers named Mio and Zoe, who find themselves stuck in a simulation run by Raider Publishing, a tech firm that uses artificial intelligence to extract creative ideas from authors. To break free, they must join forces and journey through bizarre landscapes shaped by their preferred genres in sci-fi fantasy. Sydney Sweeney is set to portray one of the writers, though it's unclear which character she will be. Is this a video game that just came out recently, a couple months ago? Anyways, with that Split Fiction, have you played the game? Do you like the game? I've never played it, but what do you think about Sydney Sweeney joining as the cast? And what do you think about John M. Chu? He's directed quite a bit of stuff. Did you see the Wicked movie that he did last November? You're going to see Wicked for Good. Do you think he's a good fit for this Split Fiction adaptation? Again, like I said, I've never played the game, so I'm not too sure, but the visuals look cool, and the visuals in Wicked were really good. So maybe he is the right fit for this. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down below. Moving on after that, we are talking some Predator. Yeesh, look at that thing. Okay. Predator franchise star offers hopeful update on sequel to one of action franchise's best movies. So real quick with that, there's actually a Predator movie coming out this Friday. It's Predator Hunters or something like that, but it's an animated feature, and that'll be released on Hulu this Friday. So be sure to check that out. After years of largely failed attempts to reignite the franchise, the world of the Predator is expanding following the release of the critically acclaimed Prey back in 2022 with the likes of Predator, Killer of Killers, not Hunters, and Predator Badlands now on the horizon. Fans have been left wondering whether we will see the return of Amber Midthunder's Comanche warrior Naru. Well, Midthunder herself has now offered a hopeful update. Amber Midthunder, obviously she was in Prey, and she was also the lead female in Novocaine with Jack Quaid, and I believe you can watch that on Paramount Plus. Speaking to discussing film at the premiere of the animated anthology movie Predator Killer of Killers, Amber Midthunder declared that she would love to return for Prey 2, but only under the direction of Prey director Dan Trachtenberg. Dan Trachtenberg also does Predator Badlands, which comes out this year, and the Killer of Killers that comes out on Friday. After so successfully bringing the Predator back to screens with Prey, Trachtenberg has now been given the reins of the action sci-fi franchise as Midthunder all but states, "In Trachtenberg, we trust." Dan Trachtenberg is such a great director, and obviously I think that what he created with Prey the first time, he can be the only one trusted with that again. I would love to do that. So then it just talks about Prey here, and then it's crazy how much younger she looks here versus Novocaine. Taking the reins again, yeah. For everyone, this is Dan Trachtenberg speaking here. For everyone who's been asking me about sequels, it's like that is the thing. Is that oftentimes someone does a cool thing and the sequel is just bleh. And then the next part, and then is like, oh, well, that's just following up the cool. That isn't what that thing was. What is he talking about? And so, yes, in thinking about what sequels could be, the primary conversation was, and always will be, what can we do that is also special that hasn't happened yet? Not just for the Predator franchise, but for this kind of genre in particular. Can we still do something cool? So that's fair. At least he knows that. So he's not just like a guy that's taking a paycheck. He wants to keep it going. He wants to keep making it better. He wants to improve on his own story. So I like that quite a bit. Let me know down below what you think. Would you like to see Amber Midthunder come back for a Prey 2? Or are you going to watch Predator Killer of Killers this Friday? Have you seen the trailer for Predator Badlands? I think all the stuff looks good. I like Prey, and I think these next two Predator movies look good. And it's rumored they're going to be going back to Alien vs. Predator in the next couple years. So we shall see. Going back to Superman, a record amount of merchandise is hitting shelves, and one popular character leads the way. That's probably going to be Crypto, but whatever. So typically, if you had asked me 2 days ago, a month ago, 6 months ago, a week ago, are you going to buy any Superman merch, John? I would say, no. I have a shirt that's good enough. I don't need to buy any other merch. Well, now I've seen the merch. And yeah, I want to buy some merch. Let's check this out. Superman is about to take over retail outlets everywhere with more merchandising than ever before, and Crypto is leading the charge. In an exclusive first look from Warner Bros. Discovery Consumer Products, fans get a sneak peek at some of the new tie-in merchandise being released in concert with James Gunn's Superman feature film starring David Cornsweet. Okay, so we talked about all that, blah, blah, blah. So look at this. We get some Funkos of Crypto, Lois Lane Funko, Superman Funko. I actually might get this one. This is a pretty cool shirt. I might get that shirt. Metropolis mug. I might get that mug. Nah, I don't have a dog, otherwise I would. I don't have any kids, otherwise I'd get that. I don't play with toys. Yeah, cool watch. I already have a Superman watch, though. My dad got it for me a while back, so I'm good on Superman watches. It's a pretty cool toy. Not going to lie, pretty cool toy. If I was a kid, I'd want that toy. And a Build-A-Bear. If I had a kid, maybe I would get them the Superman Build-A-Bear. So that's just some of the merch, though. And then it goes in talking about written and directed by blah, 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 blah. And then, there is so much more merch that I saw yesterday. I'll try to find a different site with all the other extra merch, because Yeah, there was so much more merch. Hold on. So with that though, any of this merch, did you like it? I like again, I like the I like this Funko and I like this shirt and I like this mug. So I will probably be getting all three of those. And then I'm sure there's some more stuff too. Let me see real quick. DC shop. Let's see. Get out of here. Okay. So I think I found it. Let me bring this up over here. All right. Look at all this other merch. You got a cardboard cutout, Crypto, Superman, some more t-shirts. You got this bottle, Rise Above, Go Higher. This is pretty cool. The neon light. You got the hat. The theatrical logo t-shirt. That's kind of cool. Goes t-shirt to the button up. Some more Funkos. Look at that Funko. This one's cool. This mug is cool too. The Fortress of Solitude mug. I want that one over the other one for sure. And then this little Funko's cool with the Fortress of Solitude. I've seen this shirt around. Some more Funkos. Yeah, man. Look at all these. Dog collars. Let's see what else they got. Oh, there's that one shirt. This is a beach towel. Okay. I could take a beach towel. A pet leash. Why is a pet leash $40? That's crazy. You got the black and silver. I like that. Lex Luthor Funko. Ooh, a blanket. Okay. I like blankets. Look at all this stuff, man. There's some cool merch here. Premium poster. That's a pretty sick poster. The Superman box set. What is this? Oh, it's a graphic novel box set. Sweet. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else is here. Is that a blanket? Fortress of Solitude blanket. Like that one. Oh, man. Some more mugs. Crypto poster. I don't really care about that. What does that say? Take me home. Take me home tonight. So, yeah, there's a lot of good merch there for Superman. So, go ahead and let me know down below. Any of that merch look interesting to you? Is that anything that you want to see? Anything that you want to get? And with that, I'll be moving on to the second to last topic. I made this as a second to last topic because it might upset me and I don't want to end being upset. So, with that, Final Destination Bloodlines leaves franchise box office record in the dust. Might receive digital release this month. I have not read this article, but no, it is making money. If it continues to make money, let it make money. Wait, do you guys remember when there was a such thing as like cheap theaters near you? And after a movie had been out for about 3 months, it was still in that cheap theater at a discounted price because it was on its second run. We need to let these movies ferment and sit and just go. Don't push them to streaming. Just let them flow, dude. It's so annoying. At least 90 days in the theaters, man, especially if it's making money. If it's not making money, cut it from 90 to 60. That's fine. But Jesus. After a 14-year hiatus, the Final Destination franchise returned this year with Final Destination Bloodlines, and moviegoers were clearly missing these movies as Bloodlines has quickly become the highest-grossing entry in the franchise. The previous record holder of 2009's The Final Destination reached $187 million, but the new sequel has left that record in the dust, pulling in over $230 million so far. That's fantastic. Who would have thought that? That's just in 2.5 weeks of release. See, 2.5 weeks of release, and they're already talking about digital on June 17th? Like, why? It's so stupid. That makes no sense. It's making money every single week. We'll have to wait and see if that turns out to be true. It better not be. As When to Stream noted, Warner Brothers has neither announced nor confirmed the release date. As always, release dates are subject to change. Then who the fuck would make this article then? Word is going around. Okay, so word from insiders. Okay. Yeah, right. Well, let's see. Sinners just came out on digital this week. I think it was in 7 weeks. And this movie is not far behind what Sinners is making, and it's only been out for 2.5 weeks. So it'll be its third week this weekend. So maybe it's fourth. So let's keep it in theaters for at least another 3 to 4 weeks before we even talk about going to digital, because this movie is about to make more money than Sinners. Then it goes into the synopsis of it. So yeah, with that, just a quick one. Okay, cool. It didn't upset me as much as I thought it was going to. But digital releases are fucking terrible. Let the movies be in theaters. Give people a chance to go see it. Let people have a chance to like plan around these movies to go see them. Don't just have it out for a couple weeks and then go straight to digital. It's if you're gonna do that, at least put it on the physical media at the same exact time as well. But I can't stand that. I don't think Sinners should be out on digital yet. It's still making money at the box office. Some of my local screenings are still almost sold out. So if they're making money, let them make you guys money. What do you studio heads not understand about that? There's no way that these make nearly as much on streaming. It's just not possible. So with that, going into our final topic today, Fantastic Four. Some Fantastic Four news. Joseph Quinn, I think I'm going to start calling him Tom Holland because he is spilling the deets when it comes to this movie. Joseph Quinn just confirmed another villain who's joining Galactus, and I can't wait for the showdown in First Steps. This is written by Adam Holmes from, I think, Cinema Blend, yeah. So let's see what's being spoiled. And following the footsteps of Fantastic Four Rise of Silver Surfer, the July's Fantastic Four First Steps will see Marvel's first family. Wow, he didn't even acknowledge the 2015 one. How dare he? Forced to contend with the cosmic entity known as Galactus. Between the Devourer of Worlds and his herald, the Silver Surfer played, and this continuity by Julia Garner, you'd think that'd be enough for Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, The Thing, and Human Torch. However, Joseph Quinn, who's bringing Torch, aka Johnny Storm, to life, has confirmed another villain who's set to appear in the upcoming Marvel movie. That's a showdown I'm eager to see. While appearing at CCXP MX25, his co-stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, and Ebon Moss-Baccarat, Quinn let it slip during an audience Q&A that we'll be seeing Mole Man in Fantastic Four: The First Steps, though he's obviously playing second fiddle to the figuratively and literally big bad Ralph Ineson, who's playing, in Quinn's words, excuse me. He's playing Galactus. I don't know why I just stopped there. In Quinn's words, we've got a lot of fantastic characters in there. I wonder if he intended that pun. There's also Mole Man, who is wonderful in it, but Galactus is the big bad. He's big, evil, planet gobbling space god. He's played brilliantly by the wonderful Ralph Ineson, and Silver Surfer played by the brilliant Julia Garner. We're very lucky to work with her. She's excellent in the film. There are lots of brilliant characters in this film, that's for sure. So, Mole Man. Who do we think Mole Man is? Is it going to be John Malkovich? He was in the first trailer. That was it. He hasn't been in the second trailer, and he didn't have any speak lines. They just showed him walking. And then there's also Paul Walter Hauser. He could be Mole Man. So I'm interested to see who will be playing Mole Man. Although there had been rumors about Mole Man appearing in the Fantastic Four First Steps, we now have official confirmation that from one of the actors. So who's playing him? It's still a mystery. Although given what a few actors still haven't been identified in First Steps, I think it's probably safe to say Paul Walter Hauser would be the best fit. I think so too. An extremely loose adaptation of Mole Man was played by Tim Blake Nelson in 2015's Fantastic Four, but it sounds like we can count on a much more faithful take on the character this time around. I did not know that was the character that he was in 2015. That's interesting. And Tim Blake Nelson, he is the guy that played the leader most recently in Captain America: Brave New World. He just happened to be in the 2015 Fantastic Four as well. So with that, let me know down below. Are you excited to see Mole Man? I don't know jack shit about Mole Man. I kind of do my research on the comics and the characters before the movie comes out. I don't necessarily have a stack this big full of comics, but I'm always eager to learn, and I just like knowing things. So with that, I think Paul Walter Hauser probably will be him. I think John Malkovich is going to be an old version of Franklin Richards. So that's my fan theory. So, but yeah, and who else do you think is going to be in this movie? Do you think there's going to be like a montage of them just going through random villains? Or do you think it's just going to be like a couple ones here and there that are maybe mentioned or briefly seen, kind of like all the villains that were in Spider-Man Homecoming? They all had minor 3, 4, 5 minute totality in the movie. So with that, let me know your thoughts down below. And that is it for Movie News Live today, or let's talk about Movie News Live today. That is it. I will be back tomorrow with some more Movie News Live. Again, go ahead and let me know down below what you liked about the show, what you didn't like about the show. Let me know what you're looking forward to the most from all the articles we went over today. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.